I'm the founder and CEO of Cabral Gold. We have a gold project in Brazil. It's an advanced exploration program. We currently have 5 rigs drilling, so we have a lot of news coming out. We have a district scale project. My background, I grew up about 30 miles north of here. I have a PhD in gold. I spent 13 years with Billiton and Rio Tinto, 10 of which was in South America. And I've got a pretty experienced board and management team here. This is a Canadian listed company. We have 141 million shares out. Current market cap is around 70 million Canadian. We have just under 8 million in cash. I'm the biggest shareholder, so far I've invested $1.7 million into this company, which for me is a giant chunk of my net worth. We have a good institutional roster here. You can read the names. Last year we were the second best performing mining stock on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange, about 600 or 700 mining companies. Now, we're in a part of Brazil which is very special. It's the site of the world's largest ever recorded gold rush in terms of people. There was a gold rush that happened here in the 1980s that was 10 times larger than the California rush. It was a big gold rush. All placer gold. So I've been obsessed for the last 15 years of my career with where all this gold is being eroded from. The project that we have in the yellow there in the middle is the largest one, Cuiú Cuiú, in terms of the historic amount of gold production there. There's 5 known gold deposits here. All those little black triangles are areas where gold was washed from the streams. But as I said, the one in the middle there, Cuiú Cuiú, was the largest one. Now, we have some interesting neighbors here. 3 weeks ago, Eldorado sold the deposit next to us, which is a 2 million ounce fully permitted deposit, to a company called GMining. They're here, and they have announced their intention to make a construction deposit on that asset. Sorry, let's go back, in blue there in TZ. As I said, it's a 2 million ounce deposit, fully permitted, and that will be Brazil's 3rd largest gold mine. Now, we're just to the northwest of that, and the circles that you can see there reflect the historic gold production from the streams, all the placer gold. So the production that came out of our area historically during that big gold rush I mentioned in the 1980s was 10 times larger than the gold that came out of the streams from GMining's area. So we're next door to what's going to be a very, very large open pit gold mine. And obviously we're not as advanced in terms of our process. So far we've only found 2 gold deposits that with a resource. That was from 2018. I can tell you we've found actually 3 more since then. The 3 new deposits here do not have resources on them yet. This map shows the 2 known deposits, MG and Central. That was basically the situation in 2018. Now, in 2018, the calculation was that there was 1 million ounces within those 2 deposits. I can tell you there's a lot more high grade. There was a lot of high grade drilled prior to 2018 that was not incorporated in that resource estimate. So the high grade material here was essentially not included. The 3 new discoveries we've made here include the powder Miranda blanket, the MG blanket, and as you might gather, these are blanket deposits that sit right on surface in unconsolidated material. They don't have resources on them yet, but we've drilled probably about 150 holes into those 2 blankets right now. We're currently targeting a 3rd blanket above the central deposit, and the 3rd one I mentioned is just north of MG. I don't know if you can see it there, but anyway, it's district scale. This just has a little cartoon about the sort of deposits we're dealing with. They're the same age as the West African Birimian deposits, for those of you that are interested. We have a series of high-grade veins here in most of these deposits, which are surrounded by low-grade envelopes. Now, these envelopes get quite wide. The central deposit is 100 meters wide, comes right up to surface. And the sort of funnel shape that you're seeing on the top there is basically eroded material, which is all oxidized. So there'll be no drilling and blasting required on those blanket deposits. No grinding either, by the way. Most of our drilling, as I said, we have 5 rigs drilling right now. This little, and I don't have time to go into detail on all these slides because I only have 5 minutes left, but look, this section on the right-hand side here, that's the underlying MG deposit. That's the primary deposit there in the granite. We found a footwall zone in this deposit earlier this year, and all this material on the top with these red drill intercepts is basically oxidized blanket material. Most of it's running anywhere from 0.4 grams a ton to 1.2. Obviously, right on top where the primary deposit projects through, we're getting much better intercepts, 60 meters at 3.5 grams in unconsolidated material. As I said, no resource on that yet. That was all back in 2018, and the last resource estimate assumed to be waste. It's not, obviously. This blanket's growing. It's currently, that was the situation 2 weeks ago, that red line. It's just jumped another 50%, so it's 36 hectares. And this is one of 2 of these blankets we've discovered this year. We think we're onto a third one. This is that second hard rock deposit that we discovered prior to 2018. It's a northwest trending deposit. You can see the envelope there. All that yellow material is averaging about 1 gram a ton. It's 100 meters wide. This is probably the third blanket sitting on top of this, all oxidized material. We're drilling that right now. And we're drilling underneath here. Those red zones are high-grade vein material. The high-grade veins are continuous. As I said, most of that high-grade material was not included in the 2018 estimate. Central itself sits in a trend, and this is a map from today's press release, actually. There's a 5-kilometer long geochemical anomaly in this part of the property. And this is only a small part of the property area. But we've got a gold anomaly, which is 5 kilometers long. Not only that, but we've got some cracking drill holes outside this, the central gold deposit, which has obviously a resource on it. 27 meters at 6.9 grams. That's 500 meters to the southeast of the southeast margin of the deposit. Then coming up through here, 39 meters at 1.3. We've got trenches in this area at Mutun, averaging 1 gram over 32 meters. And this is that second blanket I mentioned. The outline is there in yellow. We're now drilling for the underlying source of that particular blanket. There's almost certainly a primary deposit sitting under that. So look, it really is district scale. That's that second blanket I mentioned in a bit more detail. It has a hot zone, if you like, where the grades are higher. It's almost certainly reflecting another northwest trending deposit sitting underneath that that's being eroded and weathered out. Now, you've seen this sort of area. Again, that's the central deposit. This is a magnetic map. All the white spidery lines here are where placer gold was mined during the 1980s, that big gold rush. So that's the first primary deposit that we're just talking about. That's the other one, MG. This shows some of the drill intercepts within sort of 7 or 8 kilometer radius. Now, none of these drill intercepts are included in the current resource base, obviously. 27 meters at 6.9 grams, I mentioned that. We've got 3.4 meters here, running 36.9 grams. We've got 34 meters at 5.3 grams here, up here. We've got 30 meters at 1 gram. We've got 39 meters at 5 gram. It's district scale. This is going to have multiple deposits in that. I think we're demonstrating that, so it's going to be quite an exciting few months. This is another primary deposit that's emerging 500 meters north of MG. MG has a resource, this one doesn't yet. And this section here is through this. That section could be anywhere through MG. A lot of high-grade veins between those two. That's the MG zone with a blanket on this map, and that's that new east-west trending zone. There are 9, arguably 10 veins with some cracking numbers associated with some of those. That vein's running 5.8 meters at 16 grams on surface. Again, no resource. This is the same map I just showed you. We've got lots and lots of targets over here, and there are 43 targets here, guys, with high grades associated with them, some with drilling, as I just showed you, some with just boulders. I'll just show you a couple here, and I've only got 2 minutes left, or a minute left. Look at the boulders from this Alonso area, and look at these from Tracajá. These are next to the golden streams. At Alonso, we found these boulders in the woods next to the stream bed. We took 24 samples of 24 boulders. They're averaging 91 grams a ton. I'll say that again. The boulders here are averaging 91 grams a ton. This is one of 43 targets. Here's another one, Tracajá, 6 kilometers away. Again, Boulder Train on surface, about 150 meter wide Boulder Train. These are the gold values on all the boulders. The lowest one was 20-some grams. They're averaging 75 grams a ton. Here's another one, lots of coarse nuggets coming out of somewhere else. Timeline, lots of drilling. Next 8 months, we've got a 30,000 meter program planned, fully funded. We've got 5 rigs drilling. Where's the opportunity? Management, I'm the largest shareholder. I put a lot of money into this company. We're already starting with 1 million ounces from 2018. 25,000 meters drilled already since then, by the way. Lots of recent discoveries, district scale, 5 rigs turning, and we're right next to a major development project, which will be Brazil's 3rd largest gold mine. Thanks very much.